Welcome to the sweater weather. We've got the chunky sweater on today, but still a bit of sunshine. It's finally fall, so it's time to talk about what I did and didn't read in the month of August. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews here at the weekend. Feel like such fraud saying that because I've sort of had summer off. I went on back-to-back vacations that meant I didn't watch any movies and I really didn't read any books. So August TBR was like really hopeful, like I have time, I have long plane journeys, I might have downtime on my cruise. No, on your long plane journeys you will just kind of watch YouTube videos that you downloaded. I might have watched movies, but my seatback entertainment was broken for the entire 10.5 hour flight back. So thankfully I had downloaded some stuff. So let's talk about it. I read Why Mummy Drinks on Holiday. I do love these books, but I do feel like this one was out of sequence with the last one. So the last one was Why Mummy Drinks at Christmas, which there is a little guide here somewhere. Why Mummy Drinks at Christmas, which had lovely Ellen's children grown up, and then we jumped back in time and went to a summer holidays with Ellen and went through the entire 6-week summer holiday with her. Now I do love the fact that these are in diary form. I have the hardback copy. I read some of the hardback copy, and then for my trips I borrowed the ebook from my library and read it on ebook. So I did end up finishing this on a plane, which I think is quite cool. I did actually read a little bit on a plane. That's about it. But yeah, it was nice. It was like your general Ellen chaos feel. Now, normally with the books in this series, I would say that you could pick them up as standalone reads, but I feel like because we've sort of flashed back a little bit with this one, and with the previous book, Why Mummy Drinks at Christmas, we've sort of flashed back and forwards a little bit. I do think that you need to have some prior knowledge of these characters in order to appreciate kind of like where we are and what we're doing in this book. So just putting that one out there. And I kind of wanted, like, then that if this was going to be a flashback that was acknowledged at the start of the book, it was just like, oh, suddenly the children are young again, whereas the last one that I read, the children were older, so that was a little bit difficult to digest. But it's funny, it's relatable. Because I know these characters, it was even more relatable, and I was like, oh, come on, Ellen, we've been through this now, like, surely we're over that point. But it was definitely enjoyable. And then I was off to a really good start at the start of August. I guess I must have had like a moment here at home where I essentially listened to an audiobook in a day. So it's a little bit like, well, Katrina, if you can read that audiobook in a day, like why then haven't you read further books? I'm just trying to get it to load. So I listened to Hiding Him by Adam Hatton, which I think when I filmed my August TBR, I'd already started listening to, which I had, and then I kind of finished listening to it. Now, it is a YA audiobook, and so it is on the shorter side, so it takes less to listen to it. But I just think I was just kind of like captured up in this audiobook, wanting to sort of hear what happened. And the great thing is because I've been watching Adam Hatton for years, you know, I could hear his voice throughout the whole book. And then the best part about this for me was there was a letter at the end from sort of Adam to his past self, which made me cry. And then I always read or listen to the acknowledgements in a book. Now, if I've got a physical book, I'll generally read the acknowledgements first, just because I think they're a really interesting part of the book. Now, I have been in a couple of acknowledgements, and that's, you know, another reason why. But I listened to the acknowledgements for this, and that made me cry too. So I think that if you're going to read this book, I think that there might be value in reading that author letter and the acknowledgements first, and then reading the book. And it was just lovely. It did remind me of, you know, Adam references Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda in his kind of letter and acknowledgements. And it did remind me a little bit of that Creekwood High crowd, the various friends that our main character has, you know. So YA coming out stories, like coming of age. It was just wholesome and lovely, and it was nice to sort of hear a familiar voice throughout the book as well. And I think that definitely helped to make it for me. It wasn't anything majorly groundbreaking, but the author letter and the acknowledgements were really, really lovely, and I really enjoyed them. And then the other book that I listened to, that again I could really hear the author's voice just like coming through loud and clear, was this one, which is an adult novel from this author that I've traditionally read middle grade and YA from. And this is I Love You, I Love You, I Love You by Laura Dockrill. And it just felt like Laura Dockrill was telling me her story. And I don't know how much of this story is autobiographical in any way, any of the experiences that she had. I mean, you know, we all draw on our own experiences in things, but it was just like, oh yeah, I could totally picture her doing or saying this. And the main character, again, a little bit like at the beginning where you kind of wanted to lean in and speak to the main character and give them some advice. It was a lot like that. Like, we had our main character, who was Ella. I had read an Ellen and then I was reading an Ella. She makes a lot of choices that are not for herself, and I wished that she would put herself first. But then when we are younger, we don't do that, do we? It's not something that we learn until we get older, and I've probably still got a long way to go myself, because I'm so young. And it was just, yeah. Now, I will say, I listened on audiobook. It's read by the author, which is, again, why I could hear the author's voice coming through so strongly. I could literally hear the author's voice. Love the fact that it's read by her. But it does jump about a little bit. So if you are listening on increased speed, you have to make sure that you are paying attention to when you jump forwards and backwards in time. Now, if you're reading this as a physical or an ebook, or if you were listening to this at regular speed, I think that you wouldn't have a trouble with that. But I know a lot of you also like to increase the speed on your audiobooks if you are big audiobook listeners, and so just a prior warning there for you. I love a bit of Laura Dockrill. Anytime I can get a new, you know, Laura Dockrill inside my head, I absolutely will do. It was sometimes a little bit uncomfortable, but I like Laura Dockrill for doing that to me. So yes, it was different. It wasn't what I expected, but I definitely enjoyed it. And the fact that the audiobook is read by her, like, it's just going to be a good time, isn't it? So yeah, I read 3 books in the month of August. I think that this is probably, even including when I was at uni and we had to read for uni, and so I didn't read outside of the holidays, even then I would end up reading a lot in August, because I would be like, oh, I can discover a joy of reading again. I think this is probably the least amount of books I've ever read in August, and it just says a lot that, like, my brain had taken that long to, like, decompress from the school year, that even in August it wasn't quite ready to, like, take in reading for pleasure again. So I'm really hoping that I can, like, get back into the swing of things. I'm sort of sat here going, well, a September TBR. I'm not managing to film this until the 9th of September. I haven't read anything new in September yet. Do I actually want to make one? So yeah, I don't know, maybe leave me some encouraging comments, because I'm also really falling behind on my goals to read 1 non-fiction every month. But maybe what I need to do is just pick up a non-fiction literally right now, put my headphones on and go with it. Because yeah, it's getting to me that I'm not kind of like settling back into my reading groove again, and I really, really want to get there. And I'm just, I mean, you can see how tired I am even now, and it's only been the first week back to school. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you read in the month of August, and please leave me something that you think I should read and enjoy in the month of September. I will try very, very hard to get back on track with bringing you bookish content every week and movie reviews every week. Summer was a bit weird in terms of that, wasn't it? And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I will be back with another video for you very soon, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.